Hey there everybody, welcome to today's lesson. Today we're going to be talking about the volume of cylinders. So as most of you know and as you remember, a cylinder has a circle for a base and for a top and then straight sides. I've grabbed a couple things from my makeup drawer here. I'll show you. So here it's a circle on top and on bottom, and then it's just straight on the side, right? Okay, same idea here. This one looks different, but it's still a circle on top and a circle on bottom, and it has those straight sides going up. So when we're finding the volume of a cylinder, here's what we do. We're just going to find the area of that circle that makes up the top and the bottom. Once you have the area of that circle, all you have to do is multiply it by the height. So do you remember how to find the area of a circle? It is pi r squared. So you're going to do pi r squared, remembering that that r is just the radius. It goes from the middle out, not all the way across. That would be the diameter. We'll talk more about that later. So the area of that circle is pi r squared, and then you just have to multiply that by the height. So I'm going to do times h, and that is how you're going to find the volume of a cylinder. So let's get started with this. Let's look at number 2, 4, and 6 as an example, and then I'll do one word problem with you as well. So in number 2, we have a radius of, let's see, it goes from the middle out to the side of the circle here. So the radius is going to be 11. What is the height going to be? It's going to be this way. I know it goes sideways. That's because the cylinder is turned on its side, kind of like this. So the height is going to be the 7. And using our formula, volume equals pi r squared times height. Let's just write this out. Volume equals pi. R is 11. We're going to square it. And then multiply it by the height. Okay, the rest is up to your calculator. So let's do this. We're going to do the pi button. If you don't have a pi button, you can use 3.14. Multiply it by 11 squared. Make sure the only thing getting squared is the 11. You don't want to accidentally square the pi also. You have that, and then you're going to multiply it by the height. So pi times 11 squared times 7 equals 2,660. And we're going to round to the nearest tenth here, so I'll just put 0.9. Now, what kind of units are we going to have on this guy? Well, it looks like they were miles. My goodness, that's a large cylinder. And when we're doing volume, it's always going to be the units cubed. So the little number you put up there is going to be a 3. Okay, miles cubed. Let's go on to number 4. Now, number 4 is kind of the same, but it's a little bit different. You have to look carefully. What's the radius in number 4? Well, here's the circle, and the line going across says it's 4, but notice it goes all the way across, so that's actually the diameter. The radius is just going to start in the middle and go across, so to figure out the radius, you're going to have to divide that guy by 2. So 4 divided by 2 equals 2. So our radius equals 2. Our height, that's pretty easy to spot there. That's going to be a 10. Now let's just plug into that formula. Volume equals pi. The r was 2. 2 squared times the height, that's 10. And now we'll just put it in the calculator. So pi, or 3.14, times 2 squared. I'm just going to write 4 because for me that's easier, but you could definitely do 2 squared, times 10. And I don't want to leave pi in my answer. I want to actually get a decimal, so I'm going to push the magic button that makes that happen. Different on everyone's calculator. 125. I'm going to round this up to a 7 because I want to go to the nearest tenth. So 0.7. And now let's talk about units. It looks like it was yards, and those are going to be cubed because it's volume. So that was number 2. Let's look at that was not number 2, that was number 4. Let's look at number 6 also, and then like I said, we'll do one word problem together. Okay, so the radius, is it 4? Yeah, it looks like we start in the center and go to the edge for that one. So the radius is 4. The height equals 10, and now we'll just plug it into our formula. Volume equals pi times the radius squared, 4 squared, times the height, which is 10. Okay, and so I'm going to do pi times 4 squared times 10. That looks right, equals 502. Okay, that 5 is going to bump the 6 up to a 7, so I'll do 0.7. And now let's put some units on it. It was in meters, so we'll do meters cubed. Okay, so there's 3 examples to get you started. Let's flip over and do a word problem or two. And we can take our little formula with us. Here we go. Let's do example number 2. It's not example number 2, it's problem number 2. And we'll put that there so we can see it. Okay, I think we can still read the problem. So containers. Tiona wants to determine the maximum capacity of a cylindrical bucket that has a radius of 6 inches and a height of 12 inches. Okay, so let's start by drawing this bucket. I've got the bucket, looks kind of like this. It's a perfect cylinder, it's got straight sides. And it looks like, let's see, the circle would continue around and back like that. The radius is 6 inches, so this length right here is going to be a 6. What is the height? 12 inches. So that's a 12. That looks really hard to read on the screen, so I'm just going to make that bigger. That's a 6 and that's a 12. Okay, and now I'm going to just plug into this formula because it says, what is the capacity of Tiona's bucket? In other words, how much water can the bucket hold? So we need to figure out the volume of the bucket to answer this question. And this is our formula for volume of a cylinder, so that's what we'll use. So volume equals pi times r squared. Let's see, what was r? It was 6. And then times the height. What was the height? It was 12. Okay, so let's see the volume of her bucket. Pi, let me put this here. Pi times 6 squared times 12 is going to give us 1,357 point, and I'll round that up to a 2, 0.2. And what were the units? Let's see. It looks like this is all measured in inches, so we'll do inches cubed. Okay, so that's the volume, that's the capacity of Tiona's bucket. That's how much water it'll hold if she fills it all the way up to the very top. Okay, let's look at part B. What's the capacity of Tiona's second bucket? Oh, she has a second bucket. Okay, cool. It looks like that second bucket is 4 inches shorter. They don't tell us about the radius, so we're just going to assume it is the same radius. It's still 6 inches. So we can draw it like this. I'll try to make it look a little shorter, but I don't know. Don't judge me by my art, please. So our radius, like we said, is still 6. And the height, 4 inches shorter. So this one was 12. 12 minus 4 is going to be 8. So the height of this one must be 8. Okay, let's use our formula. Volume equals pi times radius squared, that's going to be 6 still, times the height, which is now 8. Let's put it in the calculator and see what that gives us. Pi times 6 squared times 8, and it's going to be 904 point, and that's going to round up to an 8. So 904.8. And it's still in inches, so we'll say inches cubed. Alrighty. Part C, what is the total capacity of the 2 buckets? So when it asks us about the total capacity, that's like how much can they hold in total when they're all the way full. So basically all we need to do for this question is add up this answer, and then we'll have the answer to this. We're just going to add them together. So let's do it. 1357.2 plus 904.8. What does that give us? 2,262 inches cubed. And that's all you have to do. So that'll get you started on the word problems. If you have any questions, please let your teacher know. We love to hear from you. And thanks so much for watching this video. Bye.